Cameras, a vital tool in the fight against crime. We bring you the best and worst of what they capture.
Start moving now.
Tonight, your car's going, gone. Stop thief on Police, Camera, Action. Coming up, a clear sign of a stolen car.
Into the door, into the door!
The man who makes his living breaking into cars. The thief who made off with a police car. And the ultimate in hot motors.
The vehicle is now on fire.
With 30 million cars in the UK, it's rich pickings for car thieves. And they rarely miss an opportunity, taking around 500,000 cars each year. A quarter of those are never recovered. But as vehicle owners, we all have a role to play in making sure car thieves don't get an easy ride. Tonight, Adrian Simpson meets the Vehicle Crime Squad of Greater Manchester Police to find out how to keep your car out of the clutches of the crooks.
Nicked cars are nothing new on police camera action, nor is the police instinct to spot them. Lancashire Police are suspicious of this Land Rover on the M61. A quick check reveals, sure enough, it's stolen. Criminals who steal high-value cars like this one are high on the police wanted list, so officers are determined not to let this one slip through the net.
Almost collided with a vehicle, offered to, continuing still on the 6027.
Just when the police think his driving couldn't get any more dangerous,
Vehicle across on the central reservation BD onto the opposite carriageway, which is clear at this stage on the opposite carriageway.
he's now breaking the speed limit, driving the wrong way along the dual carriageway.
Vehicles at the junction, just stand by.
A collision with a 4x4 has a high chance of being fatal, but this car thief realises that on these built-up roads, his options are limited.
The vehicle is abandoned. We've got visual on the driver. We've got visual on the driver. White jacket, black shorts, white top. Black shorts, white top. Roger, we can confirm we've got the driver, BD. Is any outstanding from the discovery?
The thief went to prison for 12 months and was disqualified from driving for 2 years. The vehicle was recovered undamaged. Which is more than can be said for this stolen Alfa Romeo. In his attempt to outwit police, he uses the residential streets of Manchester to make his getaway. But the roads are built with traffic-calming humps. They may not be calming this driver, but they're wrecking the underside of his car.
The rear side tyre is shredded. He's running on the rim at the moment.
To make matters worse, he loses a rear tyre and the car's beginning to fall apart around him. So much for a speedy getaway in a sporty motor.
Just confirm 99R up and video monitoring, etc.
Even with the loss of control, the driver does not intend to stop, and all the police can do is keep a safe distance behind.
He's now completely lost the rear side tyre.
It's not long before the fleeing suspect learns the meaning of a hot motor.
Vehicle is set alight. Vehicle is now on fire.
Like many stolen cars, it's joining the scorching display at the Greater Manchester Police's incredible motor show.
What about the Ford Galaxy? At one point, the MPV de jour. Watch out for it with a 2.3-litre V6 and in gear trim. Or can I interest you in the Rover 75? With its boardroom-like interior and creamy V8 engine, it can make you feel like a minor statesman. Or what about a mini cabriolet on an 06 plate? Normally, there's a waiting list for these cars, but not for this one. You see, these cars don't look in the greatest of nick because their owners have let them fall into the sticky fingers of car thieves. Now, not only is it a waste of a lovely motor, but it's also a drain on the taxpayer. Each one of these costs £5,000 to clear off the streets. But as we'll see, all it could take is something as simple as this could stop your car ending up looking like that.
North Midlands Air Support are on routine duties when ground units call them in to help in a pursuit.
There. Yeah, visual. That's it.
It's not long before they spot the Seat Leon below. The driver was flagged up as disqualified, and when officers tried to stop him, he engaged them in a high-speed pursuit, adding dangerous driving to his list of offences. Using speed as his escape tool, the suspect hurtles past cars with no concern for the safety of others.
He's wrong way round the roundabout, and he's now onto Broxter Lane from 88, right onto Broxter Lane.
On a stretch of straight road, one of the pursuit cars manages to get in front.
They're going to box him in. Knocked him, they've knocked him. He's going to lose it. No, he's not lost it.
It's a close call, and one that reminds the thief of the importance of belting up.
He's put his seatbelt on. He's trying to put his seatbelt on. Which road is he on?
Denbury Crescent.
The traffic calming measures do nothing to slow this driver, and he blindly shoots across a junction, nearly colliding with a pedestrian.
He's slowing. We've got an abandonment. One in white. Traffic car. One in white on your left. Turn left now. The one in white running towards you. He's gone up by a maroon car.
Believing that he's outwitted officers, he abandons the car and takes to the maze of passages within this housing estate.
Is the driver still in the car? This is the driver.
But above him, the helicopter is able to follow his every move and directs officers to the exact address.
Going to the rear of a property. He's into the property.
He is found hiding out in the loft. Even changing his appearance has done nothing to disguise his identity.
That's him, but he took his coat off.
The youth received 2 years in prison for driving dangerously whilst disqualified and uninsured. In Peterborough, police ground units have spotted a youth on a stolen motorbike. Unfortunately for them, he quickly takes to the pedestrian pathways and they are unable to pursue. Luckily, Cambridge's Air Support are close by, attending an unrelated call and are able to assist. In 1 year alone, this helicopter has assisted in the arrest of over 200 suspects, and this is one more youth that is not going to get away. The thief's still trying to give police the slip, heading off along a cycle path, which must have scared the living daylights out of the woman on the bike. Not content with giving her one fright, he turns the bike around and races past her again. Turning onto an A road, the youth shows no concerns for his own safety as he hurtles along without a helmet. It's not long before he's back off-road and has a near miss with a small child. He pushes the road bike to the max and in his attempt to evade capture, speeds across this football pitch full of people. But the net is closing in on this young tearaway as ground units take guidance from the helicopter above and make attempts to block his path. In one last attempt to escape, he makes off on foot only to realise his time is up. He was charged with theft, dangerous driving and failing to wear protective headgear, landing him 3 months curfew and a 12-month supervision order. Stealing cars is a countrywide epidemic. In Gloucestershire, police are in pursuit of a stolen Astra. It appears that the driver may be local, as he has a surprising knowledge of the estate's pedestrian walkways. But he clearly has no concern for his fellow neighbours as he speeds dangerously down the lanes. Not content with risking the lives of pedestrians, he then joins the dual carriageway, the wrong way, playing chicken with the oncoming traffic.
Yeah, Eastern Avenue, wrong carriageway, yeah.
Officers have called ahead for backup in the hope that they can bring this hair-raising pursuit to an end.
Wrong carriageway.
But this driver's about to be let down by his lack of driving skill as he loses control. Both occupants are swiftly arrested.
I'm at the Motor Insurance Research Centre here at Thatcham in Berkshire, and I'm going to meet a security tester. Now, it's his job to test all new car security devices to destruction, and a big part of that test is called the attack test, where they take on the device armed only with a handyman's toolkit. Now, Mike, in your capable hands, you seem to have made light work of this lock.
That's correct. This lock would not meet the Thatcham criteria.
OK, and how do you deem something to be a failure or a success? What criteria do you use?
Well, we have what's known as the Thatcham Category 3 criteria for mechanical devices. This is a 5-minute attack test using a range of tools that are used by thieves.
Now, Mike, you think you're good? Are you good enough to break into that?
Let's give it a go.
All right, do you like the hammer, Mike?
Hammer, please.
Yeah. Go on, there you go. You've been going for about a minute and a half, Mike. Don't stop, come on. 3 minutes. Come on, Mike. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over, Mike. Leave it. It's over. Come on. Out you get. You've been beaten.
That's right, beaten.
So that officially has passed the Thatcham test.
That's right, it meets the Thatcham criteria, category 3 for mechanical devices.
And how much does something like that cost?
It's around about £40.
That is incredible. That something as cheap and simple as that could be the difference between you hanging on to your pride and joy and losing it to car thieves.
As we've seen before, thieves will pinch anything. This one's made off with a dumper truck from Wantage in Oxfordshire. It's probably the slowest pursuit ever seen on police camera action. Chiltern Air Support tracks his every move using a powerful night sun searchlight. Officers on the ground have been warned to back off in case he tried to ram their patrol cars. The driver barges his way through a fence into the Harwell Atomic Energy Research Centre. But he's decided to switch to a faster mode of transport, his own legs. But unfortunately for him, he misjudges the drop on the other side of this fence and breaks his leg. He's soon picked up and after recovering from his injuries, is jailed for 21 months. In Canada, police have developed a brilliant system for catching car thieves. It's a vehicle with a hidden camera. This guy's just stolen it. Brandishing his gun, he thinks he's got away with it. Incredibly, he tries to nick the stereo still driving at top speed. The man is clearly high on drugs. But when police posted the video on the internet, he's quickly identified. He went to jail for 4 years. These two women fear the car they've stolen is a bait car.
If it's a what? A bait car. What do you mean? Well, I told you, it might be a bait car. No, it's not.
They pick up a mate with a drug habit and other dirty habits too. They've stopped to buy drugs, but there's a tracking device in the car and police have coordinated a little surprise for them. They'll soon have plenty of time to pick their noses behind bars. Coming up, the car thieves who wish they'd only taken the train. What happened to the stolen police car? And my career as a car thief goes up in smoke. It's Stop Thief on police camera action. Coming up, we're smoking out the criminals with new technology. A helicopter crew drop in to make an arrest. And it's amazing what you find down the back of the sofa. It's a beautiful sunny day in the Lincolnshire countryside, and people are out enjoying a leisurely Sunday drive. Everyone, that is, except this car thief. Having stolen this estate, he's out to cause chaos on the roads, dangerously overtaking into oncoming traffic and forcing other cars off the road. At any moment, he can make a fatal error and crash head-on into an innocent motorist. On this long stretch of road, he picks up speed and shows no concern for a group of cyclists as he passes close by at over 80 miles an hour. Having traumatised drivers in the country, the thief now takes to the motorway, but at least here the police are able to surround him and keep him away from other motorists. That doesn't stop the Death Wish driver from pushing the car to speeds of well over 120 miles an hour. A collision at these kinds of speeds will be fatal. It's soon the end of the road, and just after this junction, he decamps and is quickly caught. This deadly game of cat and mouse cost him 16 months in prison. But the thieves in this stolen metro know their car is outmatched and make the decision to run for it. Showing attributes that are better suited to a world-class athlete, the thieves make easy work of this gate.
The driver has gone into a bungalow area.
They may try and outrun the officers on the ground, but no amount of training can help them escape the helicopter of North Midlands.
Yeah, affirmative. One's been detained, the other one's still on foot. He's gone to some grassed area off of
The driver makes one final leap for freedom into wasteland. Thinking that he may have outwitted the police, he decides to take a rest under an abandoned sofa.
Because he's under a settee in the back garden.
However, he's no match for the medal-winning nose of the police sniffer dog, who quickly picks up his scent.
Round the back, there's a settee where your dog is now, is under there.
It will be some time before this criminal is competing, as he was sentenced to 12 months in prison for theft.
That's the one.
I'm at just one of the car pounds where Greater Manchester Police store seized and stolen cars. And one thing has really struck me. Yes, you've got the high-end performance cars here that you might expect to be a target of car crime, but you've also got a lot of mundane run-of-the-mill cars. And I'm thinking, why would anyone want to steal them? Martin, why such a mixture?
Well, you're right, we do have a mixture here. Part of the reason is the reason behind car theft in the first place. With the development of the Chinese and Indian economies, there's a huge global demand for scrap metal. And that's resulted in the old cars, those that don't have immobilizers, being literally dragged off the street and weighed in for scrap straight away.
What about the newer cars? Are they stolen to order?
Some are stolen to order, but it's only a minority. I think you may be surprised what happens to the majority of the newer cars, and I'll show you now.
Now, Martin, what is all this?
Well, what we've got here is just one example of what happens to late model stolen cars. We have here 85 stolen cars that we recovered from one breaker's yard.
So it's just a collection of doors to me, and you're saying that this is what the thieves are doing with new cars?
It's very expensive to repair an accident-damaged car. So as a result of that, there's a huge market for late-model, second-hand vehicle parts.
I guess the message is, if you've got an old car, it's at risk from crime just as much as a new car is, but the reason why they're nicking them is entirely different.
North Midlands Air Support has been called in to assist in the pursuit of suspects in a stolen Astra. Cars like this are regularly stolen and sold for parts, but the way this suspect is driving, it will be him that ends up in bits, as the already disqualified driver has a near miss with an Arctic. He dangerously overtakes other road users in a bid to get away, but with the helicopter above tracking their every move, it's going to be difficult. His driving becomes more erratic, and he has another near miss with oncoming traffic. As he pulls into a nearby railway station, it would seem that capture is inevitable, but these guys are from the wrong side of the tracks, and they don't give up that easily. Dicing with death, the two youths make off. At any moment, a train could bring this pursuit to a swift and messy climax. But it really is the end of the line as the two youths finally run out of steam. And in a remarkable display of resourcefulness, the police helicopter touches down so the air observer can make an arrest. That's something you don't see every day. The driver was convicted of taking the car without consent and driving whilst uninsured, landing him in prison, whilst the passenger received a supervision order for 12 months. In the United States, police in Ohio have got a serious problem. A thief has stolen one of their own patrol cars. They're worried what he plans to do with it, so they need to get it back quickly. On the busy highway, he makes a last-minute decision to take a slipway and nearly flips the car. But using the flashing lights and siren to great effect, the suspect is able to clear a pathway through the busy morning traffic. He may have the police car, but this fugitive doesn't have the skill of a police driver, and his luck is about to run out.
Car security companies are coming up with ever more inventive ways to stop your car being taken by car thieves, and I'm about to test out one such piece of technology. Now, times are hard. I'm going to take to car crime. Wish me luck. Now, the alarm's going off, but that doesn't worry me, because I can get around that. I'm just about to smash off the lock. What's going on here? I'm covered. There's smoke coming from the passenger. I'm disorientated, I'm scared, I'm frightened, and I've been totally and utterly scuppered. I better get out for my health. As you see, I've been completely and utterly foiled. But the interesting thing about this particular device is that it costs under £400. So coming up with ingenious ways to beat the ingenious car thieves doesn't have to be that expensive.
Although smoke screens are a relatively new method of car security, it would seem that vehicle owners have been using their own ones for years by driving round in cars unfit for the road. Here, a cloud of smoke completely obscures the view from the police in the video car. The driver of the Golf has made a common mistake by putting diesel in his petrol car, but nevertheless the vehicle should not be on the road. Up in Greater Manchester, PC Paul Fletcher is on the hunt for some joyriders seen in the area.
Right, there's a report of a stolen car just crashed up here, so we're just going to go and have a look.
The remains of the car are a sad reminder of how many stolen vehicles end up involved in serious accidents.
Oh, it was a miss, he just kissed the lamppost there.
All too often, innocent bystanders get hurt, but in this case, it's one of the thieves who's been injured.
One of the occupants is going to have a head injury because their head's hit the windscreen and it's domed at the front. They've hit it quite hard.
Officers have detained a man they suspect may be involved.
We've seen the car making off, chasing the car, detained the male.
They've actually caught somebody from this further down, where they've seen it crash. He's got quite a nasty head injury.
Fletch guards the vehicle as he wants to preserve the scene for the forensic team.
We're currently getting a crowd and traffic, etc. all coming out of the woodwork. Can we arrange immediate recovery, please? It's fully up the pavement and half hanging out into the road, so it needs to come in.
Roger, is it going to be for Socko as well?
Yes, seen as one's been detained and there's a big lump in the windscreen where his head's hit it.
Yeah, not a problem.
He's lucky he's not killed himself to the damage on the windscreen, so he'll have to go to hospital, get to see a doctor there, and he might have done himself some injury.
The suspect was charged with aggravated vehicle theft, but under the circumstances, both he and his passenger are lucky to be alive. As for the vehicle they stole, it's a write-off. Yet another one to add to the grim toll of wasted cars.
Since the start of tonight's programme, another 12 cars have been stolen in the UK. Don't let yours become another statistic. And remember, it's down to you to make life more difficult for car thieves and stop your insurance premiums rising. That's it for this edition of Police Camera Action. So until next time, let's be careful out there.
The new series of Midsummer Murders continues tomorrow night, bringing with it huge amounts of money and more so of greed and jealousy. That's at 8. Next, though, it's Supernatural.